This next gentleman has appeared in 1929 at Mandalay Bay, several times here at Kahunaville. He lives in Las Vegas, and he writes kids literature and comedy. Put your Peter Beaters together for Mr. Steve Fay. Come on. Yeah, that's it. You can use that.
Oh boy, if you didn't recognize it, that was Born at the Right Time by Paul Simon. And that is a song about being privileged. And being privileged is just kind of what I personify with my whole being. I'm just kind of privileged, always have been. In fact, as a privileged person, I tend to have a different view of some social issues than a lot of people do. Like take the immigration thing. Well, a lot of people complain about immigrants these days, right? Well, if any of you are those, I got news for you. When your ancestors were coming through wherever it was, Ellis Island or wherever, my ancestors were already completely done with building Jamestown from the ground up and moved on to bigger and better things. That's a true story. Although I will admit, for the sake of fairness, my cousins at Jamestown were a bunch of idiots. They came to Virginia looking for gold, and of course we all know there's no gold in Virginia. And they also decided they were going to pick up gold off the streets, so they built their streets in the middle of something called the Dismal Swamp. If you've ever been there, you know it really is. So they really were idiots. Now this is my mother's side of the family. They go back into an old group of princes in Wales. I'm not making this up, not the Prince of Wales like no. There's a guy named Tudor. You may have heard of Henry Tudor. He's the guy that killed Richard III at Bosworth Fields. And he was the last guy to take over the, thank you, he was the last guy to take over the throne of England by force. I mean, he was one badass mother, old cousin Henry. And my mother was really aristocratic about that. She used to look down her nose at my father's family because my father's family only arrived in this country originally in the 1840s. The bleeding upstarts. So what we do, we have a word for people who currently complain about immigrants, because none of us do. We watch everybody arrive, and that's the truth. And you know what the word is we have for people who complain about immigrants these days? Latecomers. So I have an ancestor who, he was from Philadelphia. He fought in the Revolutionary War with Connecticut. True story. And I don't know why he fought with Connecticut, because he was a man from Philly, same as his father before him. The only thing I can figure out is there were probably so many blue bloods in the Philadelphia regiment that he didn't want to get contaminated by so much of that level of poverty, I guess. I had, what am I thinking? Oh yeah. I just wrote this morning, I apologize. With the help of Phil Pareto, so you can blame him. Yeah. I figured out today, I added it up, if you include my cousins at Jamestown, my family's been in this country for 408 years as of today. That's over 4 centuries, so I do feel that I'm probably qualified to speak on immigration. And then I hear Donald Trump say what he says. And I say, what the hell is wrong with that dude? Doesn't he know nobody on the face of this planet works harder than a Mexican? I mean, that's a true story. If I worked that hard, I'd die. How's he going to have to build his wall for him? I mean, seriously. Wasps like me? Good luck with that, Don. I had another ancestor, my great-grandfather, Mama's grandfather. He was a corporal in the Civil War, Union infantry. And you know, the Civil War was a terrible thing. And because my great-grandfather was in it, I've studied it up. And he was on the winning side, but I don't disparage anybody. Everybody in that conflict, they were a bunch of really honest, valiant boys, and they were boys. They were like 15 when they went in, you know. And they really, they gave it their all, and I honor them all. But there's one thing I don't understand, and that's what I've never really understood, is I don't care if somebody wants to fly a Confederate flag. What the hell? part of our history, but why would you want to? They lost, didn't they? Just seems like a strange thing to me. But, excuse me. Yeah, it's just because you grow up privileged doesn't mean you don't have problems. I've had problems all my life. Like, for instance, I've never in my life been able to sing the blues. Can't sing the blues. The only thing blue about me is these eyes. They're blue, maybe a little blood. And I never did as well in school as I really could have because that silver spoon stuck in my mouth. It made it hard to speak up in class, so I raised my hand and go, kind of messed me up. And I was in my 50s before I ever tasted caviar because Mother was of the opinion she preferred German quality food. And, that didn't include fish eggs. And by the way, if you ever had caviar, it's really good. I do understand deprivation and struggling day to day for subsistence, though. I really do. I understand it in exactly the same way that an earthworm understands quantum mechanics. I thought that was funny. Jeez, guys. Anyway, too intellectual? Oh well. Just realized I should put a thing back there. Well, I did, when you don't worry about survival day to day, you worry about crazy shit, you know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot of that going around in the world today, and I really think that's why you see some of the craziness you see. And in my case, when I was a little kid, I was deathly afraid of volcanoes. Volcanoes, I grew up in Ohio. The flat part of Ohio, up in the northwest, the old lake plain. Now that was really stupid of me, because there's not a volcano in the world that wants to live in Ohio any more than I do. Thank you. Oh my, yeah. Also, I've had to try a number of different jobs in my life. 66 years old, so some of them worked out better than others. I tried ghostwriting once, but I had to give it up because everything I wrote scared the shit out of me. Yeah, it takes a minute, doesn't it? Ghost, yeah. Oh my. I'm privileged because I live in Las Vegas, and that is a privilege for me. This is a wonderful town for me. I really love living here, but there is a level of petty crime in Las Vegas that you have to watch out for. And since nobody's from out of town, you know this. I'll give you an example, though, from recently, a few weeks ago. I found an envelope in my mailbox addressed to my neighbor, so I stole $100 out of it. He's okay with that because he said he's really enjoying my tax refund. Now I'm just wondering if he's missed his nice new TV yet. Another thing about Vegas is, the traffic cops around here. You wouldn't think so, but they're pretty swift. Now you're all from here, so that you'll probably like this one. Over the last summer, a friend of mine got picked up because he used his turn signal. And as you would expect, the judge sent him to traffic school. And this is a good thing, because all of his friends are hoping they teach him how to be as big an asshole as the rest of us. No? They're making jokes about Las Vegas traffic, guys. Come on. So, well now, Now, it's shining lights in my face, I don't know. Anyway, the holidays are upon us now, and when I was a kid, holidays were a great thing. You would eat too much, you'd sit and watch TV all day, and then at the end of the day, you'd finally just pass out on the couch. But it's not the same now as it used to be. It used to be special, and now, think day like that, we just call it Tuesday. And let's see. Speaking of holidays, come in. Speaking of holidays, wouldn't Labor Day be a really cool name for Mother's Day? You think, yeah, exactly. And speaking of Mother's Day, Sit up straight and listen to me when I'm talking to you. Okay. I think my time's getting short. I'm not sure. I'm going to cut it off. Thank you very much, and thanks for